Roll up, ladies and gentlemen, to the greatest podcast on earth. Step right up and experience the magnificence that is the Two-Ring Circus podcast. You'll gasp, you'll laugh, and you'll be amazed at what comes next.
Amazing.
Don't worry about the smell. It's just the stars of our show, Tom Italiano
G'day.
and Matt Bradshaw.
Yes, they'll laugh.
Welcome!
Of course they'll laugh.
Welcome to, I don't even know what episode we're up to. Oh my gosh, I feel
No.
like Bert Newton. Didn't Bert Newton do 1 million episodes of his Good Morning?
Oh yeah, but I don't think he ever said I don't know what episode. I don't think they counted their episodes.
No? I think
No.
they count.
What? You mean in a holistic sense?
Yeah.
Or do you mean an integer sense?
A what? I don't know what
That
that
someone
means.
counted them
Oh, no. No, I think they counted. I think,
as far as entertainment
yes.
in the pantheon of Australian entertainment world on TV.
Just in yes.
Okay.
Yes. In particular, I love watching your videos of you singing on that show.
Thanks, man.
I love how many hairstyles you've had. So many hairstyles.
Yeah,
like today
different
you look
almost
like
every
Will
time.
Smith in the boxing film.
Rocky.
No, Cinderella Man.
Was that the one Clint Eastwood directed?
No, that was $1 Million Baby.
Oh,
Yeah.
with Hilary Swank.
Yes, and...
What? Is she actually the one in it?
yeah,
Is she?
you got it right.
Oh my god.
You were thinking you was being funny, didn't you?
Well, no. Well, yes. Well,
Yeah.
I just didn't know.
Yeah.
Can we finish now? That's the best. That's the
And Morgan
highlight.
Freeman was in it. Morgan Freeman was in it. Yeah.
Okay. I was about to ask a question then that was going to paint me to be the racist I so clearly am.
Ah, what
Yeah.
what question was that?
The
I'll be the
question
judge
was
of that.
the question was going to start out, is he the one?
As in, like, every film has a token person of that hairstyle.
No, I just read something
That's
about
heiress.
Samuel L. Jackson. No, that's Paris Hilton you're thinking of.
Oh, heiress.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what's her name? The, hello, Richie. Lionel Richie girl.
Is she
Nicole
heiress?
Richie. Yeah, she's Lionel Richie's heiress.
Oh, but I mean, Paris Hilton's heiress to the Hilton fortune. Lionel Richie's daughter's just Nicole Richie.
No, I reckon the Lionel Richie girl.
I'm saying I reckon. It's getting weird.
I reckon the Lionel Richie girl will end up with lots of money.
Yeah, but
It's Lionel Richie.
But-
he was a carpenter.
I don't. What?
Yeah,
No,
not carpenter. He was a Commodore. Whatever.
Wow. And then was I going to say, I think you're thinking of Joseph. Or is that
He had a Technicolor Dreamcoat.
Yeah, I couldn't think of the name of the composer.
Oh, Tim Rice
Thank you.
did the
Couldn't get to
lyrics, and the other guy was
Yeah, Lionel Barrymore.
Andrew Lloyd Webber. Yeah.
Started with an L. I knew there was an L in
Do
there.
you ever misemphasize people's middle names? Andrew Lloyd Webber.
No, because it's dumb.
No.
It's dumb and weird.
Okay.
And it makes me squeamish and whimsical.
Oh, sorry for being dumb and weird.
No, you're not being dumb. Oh, yeah. You were
I
being
was
dumb
being
and weird.
dumb and weird.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not am dumb and weird.
Yeah, you're not dumb and weird. Hey, Hilary Swank. Funny surname. Anyway, let's move on.
Do you think it was Hilary S.Wank?
No, I think the S used to be on the end, but she changed it to try and get, more
yeah.
notoriety.
Yeah.
Well, less notoriety.
Oh, yeah.
Heiress. I think you only become the heir or heiress to something if there's a pump nearby. No, if
Are you a mattress?
sometimes, and sometimes I'm on top.
Nice.
Sometimes I'm a duvet. Yeah,
Nice.
Alexander Duvet.
I
They
love
call
it.
me. Aren't you only an heiress if you? I don't think you. What?
Keep going, quick.
Okay.
Roll it.
I think you're only like an heiress to like a fortune as created by some sort of business empire, surely. Do you count the Carpenters and the Commodores as a business empire?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, surely Lionel Richie is a business.
No, he's the guy. He was easy.
Yeah.
He was dancing on the ceiling.
Yeah. But
unless it was, I don't know. Really?
I don't know. That's a very interesting point.
But that means every like Nick Simmons, Gene Simmons' son,
yes,
and Fiona Apple. No, what's his daughter? What's his sister's name?
I don't know.
Sophie, not Fiona Apple.
Sophie Apple?
No, there's no apple
just-
involved.
oh, no
I just
apple,
thought her name
yeah.
was Fiona, and so it made me think of
Did she fall far from the
apples.
tree?
Yes, in the sense that she's quite delightful.
Oh.
She's had a song, Sophie Simmons.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What was it?
It was a bit EDM-y, I think.
Okay, I wouldn't know it then.
No. Well, I didn't know it either, but I looked it up because it was her, because I'm interested. Because, you know, what, Gene Simmons being my best mate now and all.
Best mate?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he's my best mate.
So, all these years I put in, to be fair, he's put in way more years with you than I have.
Also, longer tongue.
How do you know?
What?
Yeah, you heard me.
Because you've often poked your tongue out at me over the years.
Yep, but I haven't poked it in you.
Eh?
Out at you and in you are different things. How can we never say, hey, let's get in here?
What?
You're like, in the movies, they like, let's get out of here. But they never say, let's get in here.
Oh, you watch different movies to me. I watch movies by myself. And they say it all the time.
Wouldn't that be cool if there were choose your own adventure movies where, depending on who you watch them with, at different points, you know those books, remember those books from when we were kids, and you could go, if you want to see something happen, turn to page 44, but if you want to see this happen, turn to page 22. If movies were like that, they shot alternate versions of movies, and every sort of 20 minutes you get to the point where you go, if you want to see Arnold Schwarzenegger fall off the building, if you want to see Arnold Schwarzenegger be a koala.
What?
That was a koala. That was Arnie being a koala.
Arnie Koala.
Arnie
That's an ice cream, I think,
Arnie
isn't it?
koala's like blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that would be cool.
Can you still get Barney bananas?
I don't know. I have no idea.
You're aware what one is, though?
Yeah, it's oh, you mean the ice cream?
Yes.
I thought he meant something else. I thought it was
Tom's choosing his own adventure again.
I thought it was that kind of movie. I don't know. I haven't ventured into one of the refrigerators in the middle of a service station or a tuck shop for a long time.
Here we go.
No.
Here we go.
I'm not. Here we go. No. I'm not going on a rant about food. I used to mint cornettos or drumstick ice creams.
Never.
2 at a time.
What?
Yeah. I would buy 2 and just
Really?
one after the other. Because they used to be big and then they got small. It was like, well, one of them's not enough anymore.
I've never been a cornetto or drumstick fan. They
What?
all have nuts on them?
No.
Okay.
The mint ones have crispy chocolate.
Okay. Yeah, I think even so, though, because the cone's crispy, but it's not. It's kind of weird, and it's also still cold. It's not like a... Actually, I don't like ice cream cones. I don't like cones. So...
I know this is a podcast, but I'm stunned to silence.
Really?
Obviously not right now, I'm talking. But,
yeah, I only very occasionally have ice cream. I'm not really an ice cream guy.
I'm not either. It never crosses my mind to have ice cream.
No.
But it's definitely something that people with kids or kids themselves think of. Can we have ice cream for dessert? And having dessert is not a thing for me either.
No.
Like I'm quite happy to eat sweet things all day long, but to finish a meal, finish a meal and go, oh, now for something sweet.
Yeah, no, I've never been. I wasn't brought up like that either.
Although, back to that thing I said 2 minutes ago, wouldn't it be cool if you could do that thing with movies and depending on who you're watching it with, choose a different version of the movie? Depending on who I'm with eating dinner. If I'm by myself, I don't eat dessert. But if I'm with other people, it's like, oh, that cake looks good.
Really?
Let's share it. Yeah. But it's still never ice cream. Do you want to have ice cream? It's still other types of dessert.
I'm not a cake guy. Cakes, really, I don't care about. Yeah. And if I was going to have dessert somewhere, cheesecake, oh, fuck.
See, I wouldn't do that. I would go...
I like cheesecake.
I would do like mud cake.
Yeah, but it's got to be mostly mud.
Yeah,
for
me too, yeah.
Dessert, sweet things, ice cream. So my friends Nico and Sarah and
My friends too.
we have
More Matt's friends.
let's come back to that. We have movie nights very occasionally because now they have a 1-year-old son, so they don't get to be as much fun with.
Why is that?
What do you mean?
Not them specifically, but what is it about people having kids that totally changes how they spend their time?
Yeah.
Well, obviously.
And other self-evident questions.
No, I just mean, like, because I remember when...
is that how you're pronouncing the word remember these days?
How did
Remember?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, I like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it wrong?
Remember?
Yeah. Remember. That's how I would say remember.
No.
It's because my nose.
No, it's not.
It's because I got a blocked nose.
No. We were just listening to the Bad Loves before this. How would that have gone?
Remember.
Like the guy from the Cosby Show. Not the Cosby Show, Fat Albert. Hey, Albert, hey, Albert.
That's how I speak. It is. I recall when...
You sure you don't crickle?
Crickle!
Look up here. Look over here.
I have a distinct memory of Liz's sister. Yes, Liz's sister and brother-in-law when they had their first kid, and how all of their friends were just so stunned that they would still go to the parties and still...
Oh, yeah, right.
They would live their life as if, well, yes, they had a kid, but it's like, no, the kid does what we want it to do. And what was interesting about the kid is that it just didn't have any problem falling asleep at a cafe or a bar. And then at sort of 9:30 they went, we'll head home now. But it didn't...
So,
Yes.
that's a good anecdote.
But it's not how most of the world operates.
No, well, but I have an opposite story in the and opposite, but opposite certainly.
Is that how you say opposite now?
Only if I say opposite.
Okay.
Otherwise, I say opposite.
All right.
In case that's what it is in relation to the previous moment. I don't know if they were friends. It was a conversation I had with someone recently where they did the same thing. Webster?
Good
About
show.
the same size. Oh, it's a shorter one. Wow, Webster. And they attempted when they had their child to do the same thing, and it did not have the required response. As far as let's
try and just
habitualise our child to noise and colour and light, and hopefully, then they will. But they don't.
But the kid didn't want to play.
No.
Fascinating, that kind of stuff.
What
to me.
year?
Well, I feel like opposite is not a word that gets used very often. So in case someone else is listening to this and goes, I wish I had a dictionary, I need to work out what that... There's a word here, anthropomorphology.
I love it.
Far out, this is a great dictionary.
What, in the sense that it has words in it?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is an incredible dictionary.
Anthropomorphises is one of my favourite things.
I love...
Yes.
I love it too.
Good.
I've had this. So a friend of mine sent me this. This is Mini Sprocket, right? So Sprocket can feature on the podcasts or the Facebook Lives that I used to do, which we'll probably do again one day. But I love that it's been sitting here for months, which is waiting for the opportunity for me.
This is good.
To get apology. Apology is a good word.
It is not.
There's a double P, apo side. Yep. Please, so...
No,
You're into this. It's really interesting to me how life changes so drastically for people. And not so much that, of course, there's a kid to consider and it's got to sleep and it's got to eat and stuff like that, but even how the perception of what's possible for people with children just shrinks, I think, shrinks into a much smaller world than what actually is possible. They just...
Sure.
They just go, do you know what? I'm not even going to entertain stepping outside of that box because there are too many variables to have to contend with.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if we
Which
just
makes perfect sense.
It does make sense. It does make sense, and I'm not trying to be. And if I am being a jerk about it 5 minutes ago when I said, "How come that is?" I do understand, and it must be very, very difficult. But that's all I'm going to say about that.
All right, Forrest. So point being that, the nights do change because, of course, when you're a parent, you certainly you can't just go round to someone's house at whatever time of the day or night and drink until the wee small hours. Both of you with your kid. No, you just okay. So our nights have changed.
So that was kind of previously what it was a bit of a party night.
Yeah,
like a mini party night during the week.
Yeah.
Watch a couple of horror movie type things.
Yeah, and get ice cream. So it's become the thing. It's an ice cream movie night.
Ice cream? Was that the thing?
Yeah, good. No.
Didn't even factor in.
No.
I wish I liked horror movies and I could have come and brought that word association. And then we could have made like a little GIF.
That's a venue.
Yeah. Is that a venue that consults you on acts but doesn't actually get you to book anything?
Has been. We'll talk about that.
Okay.
At least in relation to that phone call in a minute later, sometime.
Not on the podcast.
On the podcast.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. So experientially, those evenings have changed, and they're no less fun because I'm still drinking the same amount. So
you're not drinking for 2?
That's fine.
3, as it turns out.
Kind of.
And the baby, 3.2.
Yes, but I generally don't eat very much of the ice cream that is brought out. But I brought a selection of ice cream to our last gathering. And it's always got cookie dough. One of them's got to have cookie dough. And one of them's got to be chocolate because chocolate's it's the fucking thing. It's the thing. And I could posit a world where there had never been chocolate, and so I wouldn't be sad that it wasn't here because I'd never have seen it. But if I found out now that there was no chocolate, I'd be sad.
Really?
Because I love chocolate.
Do you think you love chocolate more than I love chocolate?
No, because I can eat 3 blocks of chocolate, not blocks,
3 little
squares, 3 squares of chocolate, and be satiated.
Yeah.
Whereas you can eat 147,000 Ferrero No-shares.
No, 61.
61.
I would have eaten more, but there was none left in the house. And I do believe it was after midnight, so I couldn't go to the supermarket and buy another box of 30 for $11. And I won't pay full price for a box of 30.
No. I won't pay full price for a box of 30 of anything.
My family didn't believe me, so it was Father's Day yesterday. No. What day is it today? Tuesday.
It's Tuesday.
Okay. So it's Father's Day on the weekend prior to this podcast recording. And I arrived at my sister's house where we had a family gathering, and I bought my father a book, as I would do for any special occasion. And I also went to the supermarket. I thought I should take some chocolate, and I bought a box of $11 Ferrero No-shares and a box of the new Cadbury with kettle chips inside. Amazing. Really good. And so I said to my brother-in-law, because it was at his house, I said, which one of these do you want? My brother's going to get the other one. And he said, well, I know my wife, he's like, I don't really eat chocolate, but my wife loves Ferrero No-shares. So he picked the Ferrero No-shares. And I therefore said to Alex, this one's for you, mate. And when the family asked me, so my brother said, how many boxes of $11 Ferrero No-shares have you eaten this week? I was like, none. He said, bullshit. I was like, no, I haven't. This is the only box I've purchased at the discount price, and usually I would go 3, and then through the week. And I got bullshitted maybe 4 or 5 times.
Rude.
Yeah, I said, this is the first box. I seriously, I'm like, bullshit. I'm like, and I did have about 7 from that box.
Okay.
But only because the kids enjoyed unwrapping them, because Lenny, the middle daughter, I took the sticker off one because she doesn't like nuts in chocolate, but she
Right.
does like stickers, and so I stuck stickers on it, and she took the stickers off every other one, and then sometimes went, I like to unwrap them too and then roll them into a little ball, but I don't want the chocolate. Yeah, Uncle Dom.
Perfect.
Yeah, what a team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah. That's why people have kids, isn't it?
To unwrap their chocolates for them?
And to then go, well, I don't want the chocolate, but
Yeah.
it's not the only reason. Opposite.
Okay, go on.
Well, it comes from oppose, probably. Oppose, to confront with objections or hard questions. Very good. Opposite. God, there's all this Latin. This is a really fancy dictionary, by the way.
You should see the taller version.
Yeah. Well put or applied. Appropriate. Of persons ready with apt remarks. 1788. It's got dates.
Good.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Since our last podcast, Matt,
Oh, go on.
have you had any fantastical experiences which might also be associated with the name of that book sitting on that shelf over there, which neither of us will be able to get?
I've already seen it. Gene.
Yep.
Yep. That may or may not have worked. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, good. Yes.
Tell me.
Funny you should ask.
Tell us all.
I was in Adelaide this week. I drove... Oh, I'm going
don't
to tell you a
tell
whole
us that.
story. Huh?
Oh, the city.
Good.
I'm going to be in Adelaide on Monday.
Oh, the city. Okay, good. Good. Oh, it's 2 gags for the price of 1.
The city.
So my parents finally have had enough of my stuff in their house still. And when I say in their house, really mainly in their garage,
Right.
which doesn't get used for the car. It's mainly used for storage.
I was going to say, does it get used to store your stuff?
Anyway, so I had to drive rather than fly to Adelaide. And so Sunday week ago, I jumped in the car after my Dudagala gig and drove. I didn't want to necessarily lock myself into going there in one hit because I wasn't sure how I'd be, because it's eight and a half hours drive, which is long after a gig and a week and stuff. Yeah, and well, it's the same length even if it wasn't after a gig and a week, but it's still long after a gig and a week. So in the car driving at 8. What?
I love that as a form of measurement.
Yeah.
You and I both understand that a gig in a week is a logical form of measurement.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I only had 3 beers on Sunday. I had 2 at Jackson's first birthday party, and then I paced myself, and I
wasn't invited.
had 1 pint, 1 pint
More your friends than mine.
at the gig. Oh yeah, it's the same people.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're coming back to that.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got stuff to say.
Can you
about
remind
it.
me to come back to it? Okay. Because this
Well,
has been probably
I never made it as a wise man.
the least linear one of these we've done for a while.
Yeah, but you're right. We've been
Yeah.
pretty on point. What's
Yeah.
going on?
No, I don't like it. I like this better.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
You went to, you had one
It's like
pint.
slam poetry, this fucking podcast.
Do you want to start slamming?
What?
Oh, break.
No, I don't. And that's just one reason why, for breakage purposes.
You had a pint.
I did, which I nursed the whole gig.
You nursed it.
Such a... Yeah, well, it feels a bit like that sometimes because I do love beer. It is my second favourite thing to do.
Did you give it a doodah? What do you call those?
A pacifier?
Yes.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I pacified it in my guts. So, I drove, and I drove straight through. So I'd suggested to my parents maybe that I would stay somewhere overnight because I knew they'd be worried. But I thought I could probably go the whole way. And so I arrived in Adelaide at 3:15 on Monday morning and didn't have my house keys. And my parents are reasonably elderly, and so I didn't want a Gestapo fucking knock on the door at 3:30 in the morning and scare the bejesus out of them. So I slept in the car in the driveway.
Oh, that's way less creepy.
Well, I figured, but I
that's
also
fair.
figured in that way that they would look out the window, if they looked out the window at some point, saying, "Where's our son?" That they would see my car and think, "Oh, the poor wee lad." They don't speak like that, but they could come out and get me. And so I sent my mum a message, knowing that she's deaf and also that she doesn't have her phone switched on at night. So I sent her a message to say, "I'm in my car in the driveway. If you see me, don't scare me when you wake me up, because I'm going to try and get some sleep." Anyway, so
What happened?
I was wired when I got there. So after 8.5 hours of driving, I think maybe because you gain half an hour when you drive that way as well. So I think I was all excited that I had an extra half hour of life.
You've already lived this half an hour of your life, and now you get to do it again.
Yeah, and so instead of going to sleep, I watched an episode of I'm Dying Up Here, which is the Jim Carrey
Is it
produced.
good?
Oh, it's fucking great.
Yeah,
not kidding. Not his new thing.
Oh, right, I haven't seen
No,
it.
this
Yeah.
is his previous thing. He's executive producer of.
Right, is he in it?
No.
Ah.
No. It's really good.
Yeah, okay.
It's really, really good. I watched the first episode of Kidding because I was intrigued because I saw the trailers and it looked
It's
amazing.
amazing. It can take a while to get going.
I think it's going to.
Yeah.
He's actually really hard in it. He feels really aware of himself in it, if that makes any sense. It feels very... It doesn't feel very natural yet.
Okay.
Anyway, but the trailers looked incredible. So I was a bit... Anyway,
I'm not going to, because it's doing the thing it's releasing serially, so I'm not going to...
you're going to watch it all in one go.
Well, the thing is, I feel like a lot of these shows that are made by Stan and Netflix and whatnot, they're made bang, 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 bang now. They're not made week to week like shows used to be. And so I feel like if you can watch them 2 episodes and maybe 3 episodes in one hit, you get in the zone as a viewer.
Yes.
And see something like, say, Friends or Seinfeld, they probably taped, over 1 or 2 days, one episode over 1 or 2 days, and then next week they went back to work and did the same thing. Yeah. Because they would do the reading, get the jokes right, and then record on Wednesday, and then they
kind of like you and I do with this podcast.
That's what is incredible about this. It's the 3 days of us getting the script right, and then. But I feel like these things now, they're bang, bang, bang. They're made like in one hit, and they're probably cut together, edited in a way that sort of takes things out of order, like a movie, but they're 10-week seasons.
Yep.
So I find if I can watch them in succession, more like 2 or 3 episodes at once, I get into them a lot quicker. But if you see one and then have to wait a week, they are disjointed.
Sure.
One of them that has done that for me is what's that? Designated Survivor. What's his name from 24 guy? Who's the 24 guy? Kiefer Sutherland. Yeah. So that's a Netflix show. It's maybe in 2 or 3, second or third season now. And I watched the first season in one big hit, and then when season 2 came out, it was released week for week, and it lost me.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Yeah, and I think because of that, because they really do the way the storylines of these things are these days. They really they flow. But if you
yeah, all right. Well,
a bit like this podcast,
I might consider that when the rest of it comes out. I'll give it a.
Anyway, you watched an episode of the thing before,
and
you
then
fell asleep.
I went to sleep at about 4 o'clock in the morning in a cat blanket, a blanket with cats on it, not a blanket made out of cats.
You can get those.
That what? No,
yeah,
I don't want.
Well, they're just lion skin rugs, really. But
yeah. But woke up at 6:30 in the morning.
Nice lion, by the way.
And freezing.
Yeah.
And in the ute. So
Well,
you can't actually lay your seat back. It's kind of back a bit.
Leave the heater on in the car?
No.
Why?
Well, what happened to you?
No. I meant like the engine running.
What? No.
Why?
Planet.
What do you mean?
Planet.
As in, okay. Yes.
I didn't sit there with my car running for 2 hours just to keep me warm. Didn't even cross my mind. Ridiculous. Anyway, woke up at 6:30 in the morning. Parents still not awake, so left the driveway, went down the road, got a coffee and breakfast, 8:30, I got a message. This is after arriving at 3:15 in the morning. Fuck me, I should have stayed somewhere. 8:30, message from Mum saying, we are up, come home. So, and then cleared out the garage. I've got boxes and boxes and boxes of stuff in my lounge room because I don't have any room to store any stuff at my house. You've seen my gear storage room.
Yeah, well, I think there is plenty more.
No, there's
room.
not.
There's plenty of room in
There's
there.
not.
You just need to sort that room out.
It's sorted.
It's not sorted.
It is.
I've seen it.
The
It's not
issue
sorted.
is that that's sorted.
No.
You should have seen it before it was sorted.
No, Matty.
Yes, dude.
No, you need
What?
You need to reevaluate your idea of what sorted is. That's not sorted, that room. I've seen that room open up and like lost souls scream, clamor, and then you have to shut the door.
It's not fucking Dante's 18th circle of hell.
think it
It's
is.
just a storage room. It's a facility.
You ask the things in that room how they feel about it.
I'm not asking anything of anyone.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, hi, Sprocket Head. How are you?
So I brought back some school books.
Oh, good. What are you going to study?
Mainly I just wanted my French books because I wanted to see how many funny things my friend Andrew and I had written to one another.
What?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we used to... French was one of those things. I studied French for 6 years.
And what about the language?
But there was a lot of messing around
Yeah.
in French because
Yeah.
it's French.
I failed Italian
Really?
purposefully
Why?
because my teacher, my teacher was so shocked and disgusted that my name is Italiano and that I didn't speak Italian that she treated me incredibly poorly.
What?
And this is in...
Was this... Oh, this was Ms. Mussolini, wasn't it? I remember her.
I stayed back one day in it was year 9. I stayed back one day, recess, and shut the door and spoke to her, and I said, "Look, this is your call. You can continue to treat me like this and speak to me this way and try to ridicule me in front of other people, right? And be so bereft at the idea that no one has bothered to teach me Italian, even though my name is Italiano, right? You can continue to do that, and I will not work. I will not pick up my pen and do a single thing for you. But if you treat me like you treat everyone else, I'll put 100% effort in." And she continued to treat me poorly. And I didn't do anything. It was the first class I ever failed. And then I told my parents what happened, and my dad said, "That's completely reasonable. I'm completely prepared for you to fail Italian based on that exchange."
Wow, that is remarkable.
Yeah. And that's a grown woman who is a teacher.
Yeah.
Who, when a 14-year-old boy went, "The way you treat me this is not on anymore." And her response was to continue to act like an 8-year-old.
It's remarkable.
Yeah.
And her name was Mrs. Bridge. I didn't see her building anything and getting over it.
It's ridiculous.
So, to punish you simply because...
Yes.
Is that him licking
My
that?
dog's been licking the dictionary.
It's a
been
dictionary, not a lictionary. You clown shoes.
Yeah, lick your own dictionary.
So... I've tried for a long time. So, I was in Adelaide, and prior to going to Adelaide for 3.5 days, I messaged my friend Paul Drennan, who's recently moved back there, and said, "Can we catch up while I'm here?" And he said, "Gene Simmons' An Ace Frehley tour starts on Tuesday, so things are going to be pretty crazy."
Because he was working for that company.
Yes.
Yes.
But do you want to come to the gig? Because he was tour manager for Gene. Yeah, great. I didn't even know I knew they were here on the Thursday, but I knew I couldn't go because I had 2 gigs. So I hadn't even considered any other cities. And he said, "Great, yeah." I said, "I'll leave a ticket at the box office." Perfect. And then I got to town and I said, "I know I know Gene's coming in at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon on the day of the gig, so I imagine that your Tuesday is probably pretty stupid, but I would actually like to catch up with you outside of the gig." And he said, "I'll leave a backstage pass for you." So I had an access all areas pass to the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. Yeah. So I rolled up at 7 o'clock for a 7:30 start and just walked in and watched Ace soundcheck, just standing by myself at the side of the stage, and
doing these ones with your pass. What was that movie? Wayne's World.
Oh God, I don't remember. I haven't seen Wayne's World for 1,000 years.
I think it's Wayne's World 2.
Okay.
And maybe they go to Alice Cooper concert and they're doing this with the pass.
Okay, no, that does ring a bell. No, I didn't. I'm not that guy. I did hang it around my neck.
Well, yeah.
At the Melbourne gig, I didn't. I put it in my pocket and just showed it to people when they asked for it because it felt a bit. So, shook Ace's hand. Unlike the first time I met Ace, which was backstage at a Melbourne concert they did. So the band I was in with Paul Drennan, a band called Stand, we did, when they were here, it was the reunion show, but it wasn't Peter Criss, it was Eric Singer on drums, but Ace was back in the band. We did their after show party at Mercury Lounge. They did 2 nights in Melbourne. So the first night we did their after show party. The next night we went to the show and met them all backstage about 38 and a half seconds before they walked on stage. Ace came out of his dressing room with his big alcoholic head, because he was drinking back then, and a glass of champagne in one hand, and stumbled towards me on his big platform boots and said, "How you doing, man?" and gave me a hug. Maybe because he recognised me from the night before, but more likely drunk. And so he didn't hug me. He did say, "How you doing," though, which was funny because it's obviously his thing.
Yeah.
So I shook hands and then gave me his weird thumbs up. He does a thumbs up that looks a bit like this.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. It's efficient, I suppose. You don't want to expand or expend or expand.
Expand your energy.
I'm
We're always
expanding my
expanding
thumb.
our energy, you know.
Yeah, by expanding our thumbs. Yeah. Expend all that energy on doing that, if you can just do that. I mean, that's efficiency. And I think if there's one word that could be applied to Ace Frehley through his entire career, it would be efficient.
It's an expansive career.
Yeah. And so, saw him do sound check, and then I waited a requisite amount of time to be respectful and not look like a fucking clown shoes, just following him about the place like a little, "Hey, it's Megan, you're in the band that I'm with." I didn't do that. But then I wandered backstage.
Have you ever done it?
Never.
No.
Never. I'm not that guy.
No.
And then Gene Simmons was there, and I had a quick chat with him before the gig. Showed him the picture that we took backstage from the show, the previously mentioned show, when Ace hugged me. That must be 15 years ago?
I have no idea.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool. Had a little chat to him then.
I wasn't there. No one invited me. We'll get back to that.
The gig, Ace's gig, so he's got a Gene brought his own band out. It's all guys from Nashville. Good. Really good. And lovely guys. I met them after the gig, and just fucking all really nice fellas. And so they were Ace's backing band as well. And the gig was great. Ace was pretty sloppy, but always has been, but better than Alice Cooper. Not better than Alice Cooper. Better than when I saw him at the Alice Cooper
recently,
gig.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was last year.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And the Gene gig was fucking great. It was so good. They just did, they did some hits, but they did hits. It's Kiss. They did deep cuts. He was really fun, just so engaging and talkative, and told a couple little stories. Not like a meet the musician. No, what do you call those things? Behind the music. Not even a behind the music. Songwriters speak. Not one of those.
Storytellers.
Not like a storyteller. Yeah, songwriters speak. Oh, no, that's the book you gave me.
Yes. No, I don't have it up there.
Don't you? Okay.
I'll give it to you.
But yeah, told some really funny stories, and it was clearly all off the cuff. He looked down at the set at some point and said, "I don't want to play that," and so one of the guys in the band just started playing something else, and Gene said, "I don't remember how that goes," and then they just played it.
Yeah.
With all screwed up lyrics, and
Great.
So fucking cool.
Yeah.
And then after the gig, went backstage and just hung out with him for like 25 minutes, half an hour.
Awesome.
Oh, fuck. And I don't mean like a meet and greet situation. Like, he was just sitting in one of the green rooms, and me and my friend Bryony and her friend Renee was just us. And then the drummer wandered in, Christopher, really lovely guy. yeah, just fuck.
Great.
Awesome. And just had fucking conversations.
Just real human
And we didn't
chats.
talk about Kiss. We didn't talk about, we talked about music, but only in the sense of, like, you know, some kind of music history and where stuff came from and, you know, but nothing about, so what's it like to have blah, blah, blah back in the band and, you know, why have you got a guitarist that can't actually play in Kiss? There was none of that. It was, fuck, dude, so great.
Cool.
So fucking great.
It's lovely.
Yeah.
It's lovely to have followed someone and been been an uber fan, because you're a serious Kiss fan.
Yeah.
Not one of the like crazy
Not
Kiss
Kiss
fans,
bananas.
but like you're a real Kiss fan.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah.
And have been since you were a little kid.
Yeah.
And to get to the point
Since
where
I got back to Australia, and they were pretty well more or less the first musical act I ever witnessed.
Yeah,
I don't mean witnessed in person, but like...
it's well over, well, it's most of your life you've been a Kiss fan. And to get to, you've met the guys in that band a bunch of times, you've played in Kiss tribute bands, you've done like all this stuff that's associated with this band. So finally, for it to get to for the arc of that story to get to the point where you're hanging out with someone who is definitely a legend of the music business.
Yeah.
And
instrumental in my career.
The reason why you do what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all
so
of that
great.
stuff about being a massive Kiss fan for most of my life and all that sort of thing, that didn't come up in conversation.
No.
Like, we didn't have that conversation.
Yeah. So for you to also be at that point in your life where you appreciate the scenario of this, you know, this guy's he's just hanging out and you're just hanging out with him. So that's another point where you're not...
Yeah, and so, like, no photos or anything, because it's just... You've
got 'em.
So much like it would sully the experience. I mean, yes, I wrote about it. I let the social network world know that it had happened, because I was pretty fucking jazzed about it. Yes, and more to the point, most people, particularly these days, and in the last sort of 4 or 5 years, would know Gene Simmons as just a fucking loudmouth, opinionated,
shock value
jerk,
soundbite guy.
Yeah. And it's clearly clickbait, and it's clearly from sitting down and talking to him, it's totally about generating a headline. It's fucking amazing.
Is it definitely? Because I often say things that are Gene Simmons-ish because I'm not quite sure how I think about something yet. The difference between clearly me and Gene Simmons is like someone's got a mic in front of him and asking the question, what do you think about this? And sometimes I think the process is to go, you know, maybe.
Sure.
So I wonder if, because I find like a lot of people who polarize people, like Ted Nugent's one of those guys who, you know, super bright, articulate, engaged, interested, and says absurd, non-PC, what could sound like they're like, oh, this is someone trying to be shocking. But sometimes when you are inquisitive and you have to investigate an idea to the shocking to work out what it is you think and feel about it.
Yeah, I mean that kind of makes sense.
But you also know this is a guy who knows how to work the machine.
100%.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. And interestingly, I heard a podcast with a comedian named Dean Del Rey. I don't know if you know, American guy.
I've heard of that name.
And he was chatting with Nick Simmons, Jane's son.
Yeah.
And really disarming kind of interview. And certainly Nick says, my father's a dick. Like, he says dicky things all the time. That's partly because he's a dick. But also partly because, don't forget, I mean, yes, he's lived in this country for a long time, but English still isn't actually his first language. And I think sometimes he actually gets confused about the things that he's saying and doesn't mean them to come out anything like the way they do because of the language he chooses to use, because they're the words he knows.
Yeah.
And then add to that, I think, as well, Gene Simmons apologist here. He knows how to get a headline, but he doesn't actually know how to use today's media. He's a 69-year-old man.
69.
And when you hear him talking, it's very clear he's a 69-year-old man. Even when you hear him talking on stage, and even when he makes jokes against himself about, if you need to know about that, go and look that up on your whatever the thing is that you're using to look stuff up on these days. Like there's a lot of that.
Yeah, okay.
There's a lot of anachronistic kind of, I'm a man out of my depth and out of my time.
I love it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So that was good. And then I got to see them again in Melbourne. I know I said I had 2 gigs. But I woke up on Wednesday morning after Tuesday night's gig in Adelaide and messaged the people with whom I was supposed to be working and said, this is my situation, please, could I have the night off? Because this is
I'm
exciting.
really pleased that you did that because it means that you recognise the value of an experience like that and how you can kind of go to work any time. And I think a lot of people are like, oh no, I've got to go to work. And I certainly believe that you've been like that in the past, but this is like, well, I'm not going to get this opportunity yet, again. Yeah. And to have it bookend, to be able to go twice in a week and have, a similar experience. And, see potentially a bit of a different set list. And,
I wish it was.
And, then is the stage banter the same or is it off the cuff?
And it was different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for you to have, therefore, it reinforced how unique and special an experience the Tuesday was by having a similar one on the Thursday. It's really good. It's really great.
What Dom did just then was very clever. He knew that the set list was different and I hadn't referenced it, and he knew that the onstage banter was different and that I hadn't referenced it.
We've been rehearsing this episode for 3 days.
So that's right. We did do the table read. We had some feedback. We had a focus group.
Yeah, that's why I look over here. People think I'm just I'm looking over there to kind of work out what I think about the world, but actually what I'm doing in this situation is just reading off the cue cards that I've written up.
Yes. Friends. More your friends than my friends.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily. I mean, that's the heading. That's the banner headline.
Is that what we're going to call the episode?
No. Oh, maybe. No.
Yeah. More your friends than my friends.
Oh God.
Yeah.
No. Because that sounds all kind of pejorative, and it wasn't intended to be. But when you're in a relationship with someone, and you've definitely had this. We've even spoken about it. I don't know if we spoke about it on the podcast. This world blends into my other world.
Yes. Oh, no, I've had... So you mean like from my past relationship where our mutual friends have claimed me in the divorce?
Yes.
They have actually said, we claimed you in the divorce.
Yeah.
Not that I was divorced, but it was a long-term relationship. Yeah. People said, we'll take you over her.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that's ever happened to me.
They've said that
as nice a guy
jokingly as well, but also I continue to have a regular relationship with some of these people.
Oh, so you mean figuratively and literally, which, by the way, that's how I'm going to pronounce the word figuratively from now on. Which I think is not as clear, but funnier.
No problem. I remember what you're referring to.
I remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting, that. Yeah. The most recent relationship I was in, I don't really have any of those friends now.
Yeah.
Which is interesting to me.
As in the joint friends?
Yeah.
Do you think that's because most of those friends were the other party's friends initially?
Oh, yeah, that's 100%.
Yeah, that's what you mean.
Yeah.
So they were already claimed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they weren't... They became mutual friends because they came with the previous partners.
Wait, yeah. Is your situation different to that?
No.
Right.
Well, yes. Okay. No. It's all these people came into our joint lives from the other side, but it was a 12-year relationship. So I think it does get
12 fucking years.
It was 10 years of us being together, and then it's 15 years since that relationship started. So
oh God.
I think what I'm saying there is that after a certain amount of time, after a certain amount of barbecues and dinners and people coming over to your house for this, that, like, and then when the thing ends, who out of the two that are broken up does the communicating to say, hey, let's catch up. So when I say people have said, we claim you in the divorce, that's mostly because I'm the one continuing the friendships.
Is that weird though? So I haven't done that in my situation because it feels a bit...
I think there's...
Which is funny because I just did a motion and of course that's not going to translate to... It feels a bit backdoory.
I do think there's... No, that makes sense, but I think if you feel like that there's people they are also your friends, it does fall upon you to get in touch and say, I don't want you to think just because we have now broken up that we're not friends anymore.
Wow. But okay, my reason for not doing so is because I think they would feel that because we've broken up, we're not friends anymore.
Well, that's okay, but this is an interesting thing about all kinds of relationships. To assume that you know what the situation is and how people are going to feel about it is too presumptuous.
This is an interesting segue that I was going to bring up today.
Yeah.
That's good.
And it's the same thing with, and exactly the same thing with, and I said this to you before we started, and how to assume that someone feels or thinks about something a certain way because of how you interpret it is potentially putting yourself out there for living a life full of wrong assumptions. And so, like I said to you, do you want to unwrap the mic leads? And the night before, I had a situation with my partner when we were shopping, and I said, do you want to take the trolley back? And that was actually a legitimate, do you want to do that? If you don't want to, I will do it, right? But it was interpreted as, take the trolley back. There was no please. But it was, my intention absolutely was, do you want to do that? Is that something you want to do right now? And the same thing with the fucking unwrapping of the things. And I realised that it could be interpreted that way. And then you said, yeah, it did sound like unwrap the fucking microphones, Dom. Like, all right, that's not what I...
Instead of standing around the place with your fucking dick in your hand.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and the interesting thing about that is you know me and you know that I would never imply that you're just being useless. Don't be shit. I wanted, it's...
So, the thing I was going to ask, as I was on my way here today, and I'm thinking, what are we going to talk about today? Because we don't have anything planned, and we're not reading a book, and there's fucking
other than
nothing.
the 3 days of rehearsal we've done.
And there's nothing happening. Oh, yeah, and there's nothing happening in the world other than the 3 days of rehearsal that we've done. I was going to say, what's your worst habit?
Oh, my worst habit?
Because I think mine... Okay, first of all, I think that probably the only people who are qualified to tell you about your worst habits are probably the people around you rather than yourself. But I reckon one of my worst is absolutely exactly what you just said, which is, and I've done it my entire life, my entire adult life, is make presumptions on how someone else thinks, feels, or is going to react to a certain situation that they and I are sharing.
Yeah, like you won't tell your parents certain things because you don't want them to worry.
Yeah.
Like you've said that.
Oh,
like
shit. Yeah, okay. Yeah. That's not even what I was thinking. But yes, that's
yeah.
Similar sort of
You
thing.
assume they're going to worry.
Yeah.
And so you go, I'm going to save you from potentially worrying by not telling you, and then risk actually, if they do find out about it, the problem that will occur. Because your experience also suggests that, well, they never find out, so I'm right. They don't ever have to worry. And then I never get in trouble for not telling them stuff that they think they should know.
Like my parents saying, oh, you were in the driveway? You should have woken us up. It's like, you say that in the cold light of day, but at 3:30 in the morning, I don't know. Would you have wanted... Open up! For me! Cold!
It's also nice for them to think, I've got a really considerate son who doesn't want to wake me up, but what an idiot. So,
they didn't get to the we've got a really considerate son part.
They just thought you were an idiot for not waking them up.
Yeah.
My worst habit. See, I don't know if I would interpret what you just said as a habit or something you do, because I feel like
behaviour rather than...
Yeah, okay.
It's not like picking your nose.
I was going to say I pick my nose.
Yeah, we've talked about that.
But that's...
We understand.
Yeah, that's that looks like I'm picking my nose, but it's something a little more of an issue for me. I have deep-seated behavioural patterns. Like my way of dealing with stress is to eat sugar. I don't get stressed. I behave in a way that deals with stress. That makes sense? So it doesn't manifest in me being snappy or grumpy or like sweating or anything like that.
I think only one of those was a dwarf.
Yeah, that was the 27 dwarfs, because the others died of like heart disease and other things first because they were unhealthy. But I will go straight. I will a food will just appear.
What's happened? I think one goes before the other. I think you were food and then you were pooed.
Food will just appear in my life. I don't know how, and I will when I'm stressed. Yeah.
That's remarkable conservation of language, by the way. For food to appear, for it to appeared.
Thanks.
That's.
I'm a master of conservation conversation. If I do say so myself. Habits. Yeah, I've got some stuff. Yeah, that's some stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
What if next podcast we list each other? No, let's not. I don't want to know. I've gone this far without having to do any self-development. I'm not going to start now. Well, how old are you, Matt? I'm 107.
In cat years?
No, just in years.
Yeah, I feel like I can't speak properly anymore. Now I'm scared to talk based on the last 2 minutes.
No, don't be scared to talk.
Yeah.
No, you're okay.
And we're also just, we're about an hour in.
Yeah, we should go.
We should go.
Oh, because I've got to go home. I got to do work.
Oh, no.
I'm in the middle of Dracula's.
No,
no one's laughing.
How many songs have you got to do?
I did 3 yesterday.
How many?
It's twice he set me up for that.
Twice you've let me down.
Yep.
How many more have you got to do? Do it.
I've got to finish the finale. And I have 2 more to do.
2 more.
Aside from that. The encore, which actually won't be too hard because it's only Smells Like Teen Spirit. So that requires me to not really play very well. So that's fine.
It's true. That'll be authentic.
15 hours I spent in front of the computer yesterday programming.
Oh, God.
15 hours.
Wow.
And I reckon in total, I probably had half an hour off.
That's pretty
for
impressive.
coffees.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Hey, before we go
on.
Can you tell the world what your experience was today when you got to my house? Did I make you coffee?
Oh, yeah. I've got 2 things to say.
Right.
So I'll say this. Today, I had my first, what do you call it? Just a butter coffee? Mm-hmm. A coffee mit butter?
Ooh, so instead of milk?
Avec beurre, if you're of a French bent.
Wow.
Yeah.
That textbook's all coming
or
back to you.
French bon, which I presume is how it would be pronounced. En français.
I don't know what he's saying.
Café avec beurre.
Oh, God. What's happened to you? Why do every time you speak French do you roll your eyes?
I think it's partly to do with the overwhelming feeling of superiority that French people have over everyone else.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Second thing, so you had a coffee. I made you coffee. We put butter in it, and
25 grams of butter whizzed up in a thing.
What did you think?
Fucking good.
Yeah.
It does feel like a treat, though.
Why?
That feels like a treat.
Why does it feel more like a treat than normal coffee?
Because the mouthfeel of it makes it feel like it's
a bit of a dessert.
Like it's a bit of a dessert.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't. But it was good.
It's great.
I tried some of Dom's, which had no sugar in it. Here we go. And it was good. So Dom made me one, and I had a whole one to myself, and I had 1 sugar in it, unsalted butter.
Yes.
Yeah. It was good. Steve, it was good.
Great. All right. And the second thing?
The phone call I just got then was from a venue at which we are planning to do a benefit event for our friend Rhys Lett.
Awesome.
On the 6th of October. Saturday the 6th of October.
Right.
And it'll be a sort of a day into evening event. So probably 3 till 7.
Lovely.
Venue still to be announced, although by the time this comes out, I would hope that the venue was secured.
Sweet.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah.
Like my buttery coffee. Super band are playing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Super. They are a super band.
They are.
God, they're good.
Dylan very, very kindly offered their services. And there'll be other sort of solos and duos and that sort of thing. And, typically the sorts of things you would expect from a benefit fundraising event, auction-y type stuff.
Great.
And so, a few things. If you're interested in being a donor of something, if you have a service or a product that you could give, that would be amazing, and you know how to get in touch with me, so that would be great. And there will be more. There'll be stuff on the socials and
More information to come.
yeah,
Great.
Yeah, but just so I guess this is a save the date thing.
Yep.
Only I'm
Save
not
the
getting
Arvo.
married. Yeah, so
You're
Saturday,
getting married?
6th of October. No, I'm not.
Oh, you're not getting married.
I'm never getting married.
Fair enough.
I mean, never say never. And someone far wiser and shorter than me once said that.
Justin Bieber.
That'll do. Thanks for hanging out with us.
All right.
I'm going home to do three more Dracula's tracks. Ha, 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 ha.
Excellent. All right. I'll see you tomorrow night. Biscuits. That's a lot of biscuits.
Oh, yeah, bye. Thanks.